On the news, Unizik expels student involved in video clash with lecturer. Ribadu faults defense chief visa denial. And Afenifere leader Ayo Adebanjo dies at age of 96. Glad to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. The authorities of Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka, Anambra State have expelled Godi Mbakwe Precious over her alleged assault on a lecturer from the Department of Theatre and Film Studies. In an official expulsion letter dated February 13, 2025, and signed by the acting registrar Victor Modebelu, the university disclosed that the decision followed the recommendation of the Student Disciplinary Committee, which found the students' actions to be a gross violation of the institution's disciplinary regulations, specifically Regulation 4. The incident, which gained widespread attention after a video surfaced online, reportedly involved Precious attacking the lecturer identified as Chukudi Okoye. The attack followed the interruption of a TikTok video she was recording on campus. The confrontation led to public outrage and calls for disciplinary action. And the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has condemned the Canadian government for its decision to deny visas to Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa and other senior military officials. The officials were due to attend an event in Canada honoring war veterans, but only a portion of the delegation was granted visas, leading to strong reactions from Nigerian authorities. Ribadu, who spoke at the inaugural annual lecture of the Alumni Association of the National Institute for Security Studies in Abuja, expressed frustration, describing it as disrespectful.
Thank you for the courage to say that Canada denied you. They can go to hell. Even though it's painful, it's disrespectful, but we are people. We are strong, and I agree with you. We have to fix our country. We have to do it well. Yes, this disrespect is too much. So, yet is another reason why we work hard to make Nigeria work and be respected.
There's an event to honor our veterans, those that were injured during battle. Remember last year, the Duke of Sussex visited Nigeria with his wife. Through the Invictus, they have a foundation that they try to raise the morale of troops all over the world that have suffered one form of deformity or the other in the course of defending their individual countries. So we're supposed to be there. And actually, half of my team have already gone, but unfortunately, the Canadian Embassy, for knowledge best known to them, denied us visa. So I wasn't sure, and so I wanted to be silent about it. But when we couldn't get the visa, I said, this is blessing in disguise. So I'm really very happy to be here. And I think this is just a clear reminder to us that we're on our own, that we need to stand strong as a nation so that nobody takes us for granted. You can imagine we were invited for the event with our team. Our team, half have gone, half have been denied. So the competition is ongoing with half players there and half back here. It's really very disappointing. But we thank God for everything.
And the Nigerian government has commissioned a newly constructed solar-powered vaccine storage facility with 40 million doses. The facility was built under the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project with support from the World Bank. It is located in Sheda along the Abuja-Lokoja Road in the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Maiha, commissioned the facility alongside co-chair of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Committee, Atahiru Jega. On behalf of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, JEGA described the facility as a major milestone in the government's efforts to improve livestock health, productivity, and resilience.
The establishment of this facility is therefore a crucial milestone in the fight against these challenges and in the repositioning of the livestock sector in our country. This initiative, made possible through the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, with support from the World Bank, aligns perfectly with Mr. President's broader objectives for a reformed and well-developed livestock sector. I have no doubt that this facility will be of immense benefits to the livestock sector, especially with regards to one, strengthened disease control, because this cold storage facility will no doubt improve vaccine availability, enabling mass vaccination campaigns to achieve the target of 75% coverage of all livestock.
Not only that, LPRES gave out vaccination campaign consumables, such as Coleman boxes, automatic syringes, vaccine expanders, ice pack, as well as supporting the field veterinarians and community animal health workers with logistics. This intervention will serve as a central strategic storage facility for large consignment produced locally or from elsewhere. This will guarantee ease of dispatch, quality control, cold chain maintenance, tracking, as well as a repository for emergency risk-based vaccination.
And governors of the Southwest region have disclosed plans to establish a state food inflation joint monitoring team and create aggregation centers/food hubs across the region. This was unveiled as part of the resolutions reached by the Southwest Governors Forum during its meeting in Lagos on Thursday. Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is the chairman of the forum, says these initiatives aim to curb the influence of exploitative middlemen inflating commodity prices. The governor also commended the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission and agreed to situate its headquarters at Cocoa House in Ibadan, Oyo State.
On an important topic on food security, the forum, recognizing the need for food security, we encourage what we see as an ongoing collaborative effort among our Southwest states and implementing measures which is aimed at reducing and curbing inflation in the entire region. We believe also at the forum discussion will express concern activities of unscrupulous middlemen who deliberately inflate food prices and commodities within the region. We therefore took a view and agreed to establish what we call a food inflation joint monitoring team, which we believe will foster interstate collaboration and it will mitigate food inflation. We also went further to jointly set individually logistics hub, as a means of ensuring, food security, food adequacy in each state, but also working collaboratively as a region together.
And a foremost nationalist, elder statesman, and leader of the Pan-Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere, Ayo Adebanjo, has died at the age of 96. He died peacefully at his residence in Lekki, Lagos State on the morning of Friday, February 14, 2025. The family confirmed his passing in a statement made available to newsmen on Friday. The family said they are consulting with Adebanjo's friends, associates, numerous interest groups across Nigeria and beyond to fine-tune plans for a befitting funeral, which will be communicated in due course. And the National Human Rights Commission has presented its first human rights situation dashboard for the year 2025, detailing the alarming scale of human rights violations across the country. The January edition shows that the Commission received 196,850 complaints from the 38 offices across the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, says this is a 100% decrease, but disclosed that there is almost a 1,000% increase when compared with the month of January 2024.
This month, the National Human Rights Commission received 169,850 complaints from our 38 offices nationwide, a stark reminder that human rights violations persist in diverse forms and at an alarming scale. Each of these complaints represents a person, a family, a community seeking justice, accountability, and relief. Our duty is to ensure that these voices are not just heard, but that tangible actions follow. The complaints and our observatory show us that the human rights ecosystem continues to be challenging. In the Northeast, we are seeing the resurgence of Boko Haram, and in the Northwest, banditry and insurgents continue to challenge our communities. Violence and criminalities in the Southeast are assuming alarming dimensions, all impacting on human rights.
Compared to January 2024, the complaints we received in January 2025 is enormous, and you are going to see that. The ES has already given you the figure, but our next slide would give you a comparison between the two Januaries, January 2024 and January 2025. We continue to witness mass casualty events in Nigeria every month.
And in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, they have long struggled with unreliable electricity, a problem made worse by years of insurgency and more recently devastating floods. The flooding submerged vital transmission lines and displaced residents, further delaying efforts to restore power to the region. Residents of the city says the situation has been quite challenging for their households and businesses. TV360's correspondent Solomon Josiah has more on the story.
The power challenge in Borno State have had a far-reaching impact on daily life, businesses, and the local economy. Several years of insurgency has destroyed critical power infrastructure, including transmission lines and substations, leaving many areas, particularly rural communities, without electricity. This has forced residents to rely on costly alternatives like generators and solar energy to meet their power needs. Chinazo Damian, a supervisor at a battery retail shop in Maiduguri, says the prolonged power disruption has been frustrating, explaining how it has adversely affected businesses in the area.
People that are using this light often and they are getting something from it, and now there is no light, they are finding it difficult because like here now I'm using solar, and before you mount a solar in your shop it will take you millions before you mount a solar in your shop that will carry all the whole shops. So, and even if you are using generator, so the cost of fuel now, some of them cannot afford it. There are some of them have already relocated to the place there is light because they can't afford the solar or they can't afford their fuel to put in their generator. So some are relocated because of the light.
Energy expert says the way forward lies in adopting renewable energy solutions and emphasize the importance of exploring alternative energy sources like solar and wind.
For the states to kind of meet up their electricity deposits. So we are kind of advising them to look out and use their resources, renewable energy resources within their states. And in that context also that will assist them in meeting their climate change objectives and their commitments and the national commitments in that respect. And many of the northeastern states are blessed with renewable energy resources. They have the hydro resources, and they have the sun and the wind resources. So we believe that if they can properly be harnessed, surely Northeast can have adequate electricity using renewable energy resources.
But renewable energy does not come cheap, especially in a society with a high rate of poverty. Many cannot afford it. However, the permanent secretary of the Borno State Ministry of Transport and Energy, Mohammed Bukar El Sadiq, says access to renewable energy can be made less burdensome with government incentives.
We believe at the end of this workshop or advocacy engagement, we'll take up this matter with the state government and up to the State House of Assembly to enact laws that can enable us to establish our own independent state regulatory body where we can establish our own electricity supply.
As Maiduguri residents continue to face power shortages, collaboration between the government, private sector, and development partners is essential to drive the transition to sustainable energy and provide lasting solutions to the region's electricity crisis. Solomon Josiah, TV360, Borno.
News now will go on a short break, but stay tuned. Coming up next, United States Congressman alleges USAID funded Boko Haram and other terror groups. Details shortly. Welcome back. Let's give a quick recap of our headline stories. The authorities of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, have expelled a student, Godie Mbakwe Precious, over her assault on a lecturer from the Department of Theatre and Film Studies. We also informed you that a foremost nationalist, elder statesman, and leader of the Pan-Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere, Ayo Adebanjo, has died at the age of 96. He died peacefully at his residence in Lekki, Lagos State, on the morning of Friday, February 14, 2025. And in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and ABO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. A switch now to business news, and Okweyemi Owushini is on standby for updates. Over to you, Okwe.
Thank you, Joy, and welcome to Business News. Now, in a bid to ensure adherence to rigorous quality testing standard for goods and products in Nigeria, the Minister of State for the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, John Eno, has expressed confidence in the standard organization of Nigeria's continued growth. He made the statement during a visit to the organization's laboratory complex in Lagos. During the tour, the minister conducted a comprehensive assessment of the facility and confirmed that all equipment met the required standards. Speaking further, the minister emphasized the importance of careful planning before transitioning to compressed natural gas buses, urging prompt action without compromising on quality.
Our office was decided and so determined that this mandate has been there for like forever. That we'll be talking about it for like forever. But we are hopeful and hoping that we're going to go beyond the talk, right, to the action that we need to embark upon. to make sure that we deliver. And that as we get set to do this, quality products are going to be key in terms of having to advance that program of building Nigerian goods and services. We're also going to carry with us and accompany with it the need for quality goods and quality services. That is the way we can be competitive, not just within the country, but in terms of moving outside, in terms of the export of our goods and our services. So some should be prepared for that national campaign that I'm hoping is going to be put in place.
In line with the Renewed Hope agenda, focus on job creation, economic revitalization, and infrastructural development, SON has embarked on several strategic initiatives, including 1. Expansion of test parameters to meet the evolving industry and regulatory demands, as I've mentioned. 2. Strengthening laboratory infrastructure through the acquisition of cutting-edge testing equipment.
Still in the world of business, the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Jelani Aliyu, has emphasized the need to prioritize local manufacturing of vehicle components to drive the growth of Nigeria's automotive industry. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement meeting with the Association of Motor Dealers of Nigeria in Ikeja, Lagos, Aliyu highlighted the importance of leveraging innovations to establish a sustainable component parts manufacturing sector. He also urged car dealers to showcase Nigerian-made vehicles in showrooms to promote local brands and reduce the influx of substandard vehicles, which contribute to road accidents.
What we are trying to do is, even if it's possible, we rub minds together, and then we can come up with a Nigerian car. You know, because see, those countries that are manufacturing cars now and are doing all sorts, they started from somewhere. You know, so that, you know, we can design our own car that will be durable and can be maintained. And let's start at that very level. Not us going to build from the top, they build from the bottom. And from inception, that is the real issue we have. You know, we are of the opinion that, look, it's either we focus on components of vehicles, because no one country manufacture the whole components of a car.
There hasn't been a meeting point, you know, between the Motor Dealership Association and motor manufacturers. It would appear as if both had been working at cross purposes, and we cannot carry on that way. I think the initiative by NADDC, you know, to meet is to exploit whatever opportunities there are, you know, to work together and see how we as manufacturers can use the infrastructure they have.
We need to moderate and ensure that the vehicles that are not roadworthy don't come to Nigeria. We need them to do that because most of these vehicles pass through them, and then we need to be able to separate those ones that are authentic AMDO are those that are not their members, that have nothing to do with vehicle, but somehow they bring their vehicle to out. You buy vehicle, a month down the line, you get there, nobody will be there again. So we need to regulate and make sure that everyone that is dealing in vehicle, because vehicle is not a small business.
We'll take a short break now and be back with updates from the stock market. Welcome back. The Nigerian stock market ended the week on a bearish note, recording its second loss as the NGX All-Share Index declined by 1.02%. Now, this move brought the market capitalization to 67.4 trillion naira as of the close of trading on Friday. A total of 125 equities were actively traded, with 38 gainers and 28 losers. Now, Boa Foods led the decliners, with the share price dropping by 10% to close at 373 naira 50 kobo. It was followed closely by Naira Communications. Overall, the NGX recorded a trading volume of 478 million shares, valued at over 13 billion Naira in 15,613 deals. Now, when compared to the previous trading session on Thursday, February 13th, the market saw a 12% increase in trading volume, a significant 51% rise in turnover, but a slight 4% decline in the number of deals executed. Meanwhile, in global markets, it's a similar situation as all our equities, that's the UK FTSE, the US Dow Jones, and Japan's Nikkei maintained a southward movement and ended in the bears. In the foreign exchange market, the Naira showed a slight upward movement on the black market, trading at 1,565 Naira to the US dollar, 1,980 Naira to the Great British Pound, and 1,610 Naira to the Euro. Well, that's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Akwe. And on the foreign scene, at the inaugural hearing of the Subcommittee on Delivering of Government Efficiencies, U.S. Congressman Scott Perry accused the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, of indirectly funding terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. Perry alleged that USAID allocated $136 million for the construction of 120 schools in Pakistan, though no evidence of the school's existence was found, raising concerns about misappropriation. He further claimed that USAID funds were being funneled into terrorist training camps and groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Boko Haram, labeling the agency's operations as a contributor to global terrorism. And off the coast of Chile, a humpback whale briefly swallowed a 24-year-old kayaker during a father-son excursion out on the icy waters around the southernmost Patagonia region. The terrifying moments captured on camera by the kayaker's father showed the whale surfacing in the Strait of Magellan and gulping Adrian Semoncas for a few moments before releasing him. The kayaker has said he thought he was going to die when he was swallowed by a humpback whale. However, both father and son have said they would go back to kayaking. Wildlife experts have said the humpback whale was likely lawn feeding on krill or fish at the time, and the kayaker was in its way. And on sports, the organizers of the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon says they aim to achieve a faster finish time of 2 hours 10 minutes during the 10th edition of the race, scheduled for Saturday, February 15th, 2025. The event, which includes 42-kilometer and 10-kilometer races, is edging closer to earning the prestigious platinum level status, a milestone that would make it the first in Africa to achieve such recognition. Speaking at a symposium for journalists at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Race General Manager Yusuf Ali highlighted the strong field of elite runners participating this year, including 7 gold label and 2 platinum label runners in the male category, alongside 5 gold label and 1 platinum label runners in the female category.
Today we stand tall as one of the most recognized marathons in Africa and beyond. We are incredibly proud to have earned the World Athletics Gold Label status, a testament to our commitment to excellence, professionalism, and international standards. But we are not stopping here. Our eyes are set on achieving the platinum label. We are on a mission to make this race a global sports spectacle, one that will continue to bring pride to Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
The full marathon will start at 6:30, please. 6:30. We only have room for probably 30 seconds before it will be 6:30. Then the 10K 9:30 from the island. The roads will be fully closed for runners. Fully closed. We know right now it's a tradition in Lagos. When we are doing marathon, Lagos road closed, thanks to Lagos State government. They comply with that. Road will be fully closed. Then the issue of numbers, because sometimes when you run with numbers. We're talking about right now, we have well over 37,000 that have picked up their beat. That does not mean that all of them will come to run. Some come just to pick up the beats so they can have them. We had over 60,000 that registered, but 37,000 pick up their beats. The route will go from National Stadium through Oroshoki, Third Mainland Bridge, Osborne Road, Falomore, through Lekki Link Bridge, comes out of Lekki Phase 1, Ozuwambadi Way, Akiadeshola, up to Babish, and turn to Eco Atlantics. That is the route for the full marathon.
And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheje. See you next time.